Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
It's a nice, pleasant start out there. Temperatures in the 40s and 50s right now. We have some warm temperatures to start the week, but I'm tracking a front that could bring us some severe storms.
Also today, Durham police are expected to give more information about the investigation involving a 16-year-old shot by an officer. What family members tell us about the teen, what that teen was doing when the shooting happened.
And state leaders responsible for disaster recovery will testify about a multi-million-dollar shortfall in North Carolina disaster funding. The concerns as some people in the mountains are still waiting for help. And as we know, the need there still very much ongoing. Good morning, everyone. It is 4:30 and we are starting a new work week. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Jeff Hogan. It's great to have you along here, getting it started together. What a wonderful weekend we had, huh? Weather-wise, so
glorious.
Nice out there. Elizabeth Gardner over in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. See if we get one more. Stretch it out here.
Yeah, we're going to get a couple more days like we saw over the weekend. This is a live look at downtown Durham where skies are mostly clear and it's warm out there. 51 degrees currently. Our dew point is 47, so it's nice and dry but mild to start this morning. Some 40s in the south, 48 Fayetteville, 46 in Clinton and Goldsboro. It's 45 in Roxborough and 51 in Southern Pines. Hour by hour, we'll see mostly sunny skies, some high thin cloud cover today and a nice mild 72. Today and tomorrow stay dry, but tomorrow night we start to get into a chance for rain, a 50% chance, and then it's a 40% chance on Wednesday. We have a cold front that'll come through. We do have a risk for severe storms for most of the viewing area for Wednesday, and then behind it, temperatures are going to turn awfully cold. I'll show you coming up.
Elizabeth, thank you. Today, we expect Durham police to provide an update on the investigation into an officer shooting a teenager. It happened yesterday morning on Hope Valley Road. That's where WRAL's Laura Levine is live this morning. And Laura, the family says the person who was shot by the officer was 16 years old.
Renee, good morning. Two family members have confirmed that the person shot in this case is 16-year-old Joshua Garcia. They tell us that he was shot in the back and now he remains in the hospital after having surgery. But here in this parking lot, you can see some of what is left of that scene, the tire marks of vehicles doing donuts, of course, and the skid marks of those vehicles speeding off when this went down. Now, I want you to take a listen to what surveillance video from a local business captured. Yeah, so you can hear the gunshots, then cars speeding off. Durham police say they were responding to reports of a car club street racing in this parking lot. When an officer got to the scene, someone began to throw objects at his police cruiser. That officer then went to confront the person who was throwing those objects, which was the suspect in this case, who then began to run, according to DPD. And now, after a brief chase, Durham police say that the suspect raised a gun and refused to drop it. That's when the officer fired a shot. Now, I spoke with someone who lives nearby. They heard the racing happening overnight. They also heard the sirens from police responding.
It shouldn't really be something that's too close to a neighborhood because car shows and meetups and races are always one thing extremely loud and dangerous. So that being close to like residential areas is something that shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, so of course, many people here also concerned about street racing coming closer to their communities. Now, here's the questions we're hoping to get answered from Durham police today. Where was this teen shot? How many times was he shot? We're also working to learn some more information about the officer involved. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Durham.
The WRAL News team will keep you updated on this story throughout the day. Make sure to tune in during our newscast from 4 to 7:30 this evening on WRAL.
Today, we'll hear from North Carolina Central University's head football coach Trey Oliver for the first time since an on-field fight between his team and players from Howard University. North Carolina Central's chancellor says the school will investigate the fight that broke out after Friday night's game. Chancellor Carrie Dixon released a statement yesterday that says, in part, the altercation is not only deeply disappointing, but also stands in stark contrast to North Carolina Central University's core values. Such disruptive behavior is unacceptable, and we are committed to conducting a full investigation and taking appropriate disciplinary action to ensure accountability. The Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference is also investigating the fight. The game was nationally televised on ESPNU.
Today, state leaders responsible for disaster recovery will testify under oath to a legislative oversight committee. Republican lawmakers are concerned about a $175 million shortfall with the Disaster Recovery Agency. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from the state legislative building in Raleigh. Kelsey, the agency hid financial problems for weeks.
Yes, Renee, right now the state is $175 million short of what they need for disaster relief efforts. So discussions will be happening here inside the legislative building later this afternoon to try to find a solution. So people who were over the state's disaster relief efforts will have to testify today. Republican lawmakers are expressing concern about this lack of funding, especially now that Helene recovery is underway in western North Carolina. The head of Rebuild NC will testify about this budget shortfall. WRAL docs covered the problems that organization is facing in our documentary Aftermath, which focused on people still waiting for help years after Hurricanes Florence and Matthew. And that hearing is scheduled for this afternoon at 1 o'clock. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Raleigh police are looking for the person who robbed a Taco Bell KFC restaurant. The armed robbery happened shortly before 6 yesterday evening at the location on Falls of Noose Road. The WRAL breaking news tracker got this video of that scene. It was blocked off with police tape. Several patrol cars were in that area. No one was injured.
Sampson County deputies arrested a Faison man accused of car thefts in several counties. 27-year-old Ellis Wilson is in jail with a bond of more than $187,000. His next court date is set for Friday. The Sampson County Sheriff's Office is investigating several cases. It's working with other state and county law enforcement agencies.
Today, we'll learn more about improvements at an IV manufacturing facility in western North Carolina after Helene caused several disruptions. Baxter healthcare officials plan to give an update on the North Cove plant in McDowell County this morning at 10 o'clock. A plant in western North Carolina supplies 60% of the nation's IV bags. It had to shut down September 29th due to flooding and damage. Nationwide IV fluid shortages meant smaller hospitals were especially vulnerable.
The G20 summit of world leaders begins today in Rio de Janeiro. President Joe Biden arrived in Brazil yesterday. He spent the day touring the Amazon. He's the first sitting American president to visit the rainforest. He pledged billions of dollars to help nations fight climate change. He plans to talk about the issue as well as the global economy with his fellow world leaders at the summit.
A banner currently on display on East Franklin Street in Chapel Hill has outraged a number of people in the Jewish community. 3 banners are hanging from the old post office building at the Peace and Justice Plaza. They're called The Power of Good Trouble. The banner on the right shows a person wearing a keffiyeh, that's a traditional headdress worn in the Middle East. The artist calls it, quote, the image of a graduate adorned in their blue cap and gown defiantly protesting. We've reached out to the town of Chapel Hill for comment on the banner, and we're waiting to hear back.
People in Chatham County can offer feedback tonight on a proposed capital improvement plan. The 7-year plan is updated each year for any major needs costing more than $100,000. Some of the proposed projects include replacing the roof of Siler City Elementary School and reconstructing the dam at Northeast District Park. Tonight's hearing is happening at 6 as part of the commissioner's regular session.
Also tonight, Durham City Council will talk about the next plans for the 2025 and 26 budget. Council members will vote on the schedule for developing that budget. The City Council meets at 7 o'clock tonight at City Hall.
A Raleigh organization known for addressing human trafficking, housing, and food insecurity is now looking to expand its reach. The SHIP Outreach Community Center distributes 50,000 loaves of bread each month. It also provides a safe haven for women escaping human trafficking. It wants to grow those services.
We want to have more affordable housing, which we would purchase and put women in trouble and even some men. That we would expand our reach through our food ministry, which we think, food is a big insecurity in our city right now.
Right now, the SHIP Outreach houses between 6 and 12 women. It's planning a fundraiser in Garner in May to help fund its expansion.
It's 4:40 right now on your Monday morning. Tomorrow marks 2 years since a deadly shooting at a Colorado nightclub. One survivor shares what she's gained as she and others work to rebuild that community.
Plus, shopping for the holidays means more packages on your doorstep. Just ahead, ways you can protect yourself if you receive a damaged package.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
443, taking a live look around the area this morning. It's nice and warm out there. 51 in Durham, 51 in Raleigh, 48 degrees this morning in Fayetteville. We have mainly clear skies. We do have some rain on the way by Wednesday, and when that front comes through, we're going to see a big drop in our temperature. But it's comfortable this morning. 51 in Southern Pines, 48 in Tarboro, 43 in Irwin, 51 degrees in South Hill. So we have a fairly wide range, anywhere from low to mid 40s to some low 50s as you're stepping out the door this morning. So comfortable for exercise. It'll be a really nice afternoon too for exercise, looking at temperatures in the low 70s with partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow we'll start to see the clouds thickening up, and we do have that chance for rain Tuesday night into Wednesday. We'll talk about what our severe weather potential is with this front coming up.
Pete Hegseth, President-elect Donald Trump's pick for Secretary of Defense, reportedly paid a woman after she accused him of sexual assault. Hegseth's attorney confirmed yesterday the former Fox News host paid a woman an undisclosed amount last year as part of a civil confidential settlement agreement. It all stemmed from the alleged assault at a hotel in Monterey, California in 2017. Authorities investigated the allegation at the time and did not file charges against Hegseth. The Washington Post reported a friend of Hegseth's accuser sent a memo to the Trump transition team detailing the allegations. Hegseth denies any wrongdoing.
Police in New Orleans are investigating 2 shootings that left 2 people dead and 10 others hurt. It happened Sunday afternoon during a parade in the St. Roch neighborhood. Investigators say 8 people were hurt in the first shooting after someone fired shots from a car. The second shooting happened about 45 minutes later. 2 people died in that shooting. Another was taken to the hospital but expected to recover. Police are trying to determine if the 2 shootings are connected.
Tomorrow marks 2 years now since the shooting at Club Q in Colorado Springs. 5 people were killed there, 25 others were hurt. Loved ones gathered last night to remember those people killed. Ashton Gamblin is a survivor of that shooting. She says she gained a new family from the tragedy.
For us, it's rebuilding this community and being stronger than what has happened. And we're trying to create new memories and carry on with what everyone would have wanted.
The Prism Community Collective is a resource center for those affected by that shooting. Over the summer, the center with rooms dedicated to each person who died November 19th. Tomorrow and Wednesday, the center will be open for extended hours for anyone needing mental health resources or community support.
New this morning, the U.S. and the Philippines are entering an agreement to exchange classified military information. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin is in Manila today. He signed the agreement with his counterpart from the Philippines. Austin was also presented with the Outstanding Achievement Medal in recognition of his contributions to U.S.-Philippine relations. With the holidays right around the corner, more people are having gifts shipped to their homes. The downside, more packages are showing up damaged. A new consumer survey shows 60% of Americans reported getting damaged packages. That's a 7% increase from last year. An estimated 700 million damaged packages are delivered in the U.S. each year, worth about $50 billion. There are things you can do to protect yourself. First, take a picture of the damaged package and item. Second, reach out to the retailer as well as the shipping company. Include your order number and photos if you can.
Kansas City Chiefs are no longer undefeated. Chiefs traveled to Buffalo yesterday to play the Bills, and Buffalo was able to take them down 30-21. So the Chiefs, their first loss, they're 9-1 on the season. Carolina Panthers have the next chance to hand the Chiefs a loss. They will host the Chiefs Bank of America Stadium on Sunday.
A huge comeback by the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday Night Football falls just short. The Bengals trailed the LA Chargers 27-6 in the third quarter. They scored 3 touchdowns in just over 8 minutes to tie it up at 27. The Bengals had a chance to take the lead with under 2 minutes left, but their kicker missed a field goal. That gave the Chargers one more chance. J.K. Dobbins ran down the sideline for a touchdown with 18 seconds left. The Chargers hold on for a 34-27 win.
Week 11 of the NFL season wraps up tonight with Monday Night Football. The Dallas Cowboys host their cross-state rival, the Houston Texans. Kickoff for that is 8:15 on ESPN.
3, 2, 1, ignition. Engines full power. And liftoff. Go Starlink, go direct to cell.
New this morning, 20 more Starlink satellites are now in low Earth orbit. SpaceX launched them from California just before 1 this morning. 13 of the new satellites have direct-to-cell capabilities. That means they can be used to connect smartphones around the world to the internet.
Time is 4:48 here in the WRAL Live Center. I kind of wanted to rattle you a little bit this morning and bring up this video that I've seen in our feed. Heavy snowfall in Washington State and the ski areas there. It's blanketing those spots there. People actually being warned to make sure they put chains around their tires just to show you what they're dealing with in that area. And it really got me thinking about when's the last time we here in our viewing area have seen snow like this. In fact, if you are curious about what our winter weather outlook is going to look like, we've got meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. They're going to be having that along with our other team tonight at 6 p.m. revealing that.
We are. And you know how it's been lately. Terrible. We're over 1,000 days since we've seen snow officially in the Triangle area. But, you know, we do get a little bit more than that in the mountains. So we take a look at some colder air that's going to come in later this week. And it may be that we get a little bit of accumulation in our northern mountains between Wednesday and Friday as we see some really cold air coming across the mountains. It will be colder for us, too, as we get into the end of the week and the weekend. Christmas parade time start looking at 44 degrees. So it's going to be a cold start to the Christmas parade as we see some of the colder air filtering in. But this morning, none of that. Right now, temperature 51 degrees. So it's a nice mild start for us this morning. We'll likely dip into the upper 40s in a few places. Skies are mostly clear right now. It's 51 in Durham and South Hill, 46 in Rocky Mount and Goldsboro, and 51 degrees in Southern Pines. Around town today, look at this. 70s in our forecast again. 72 in Raleigh and Durham, 75 in Fayetteville. We'll see partly cloudy skies. It's going to be a real nice day to be outside. Look at this weather watch here from Ken Christensen from Northampton County. He ended up being able to take a picture of a sundog, and we see that when we have high, thin clouds and the sun shines through those, and they're ice crystals. Those ice crystals refract the light, creating a rainbow effect opposite the sun, and so that's called a sundog. Pretty view there. Thanks for sending us that one, Ken. Go to WRAL.com, search Weather Watchers, and you can send us your photos too. Here comes our next weather maker. It's back here across Texas right now, producing some severe storms right now. Those yellow boxes are severe thunderstorm warnings. When it arrives here on Wednesday, we have a level 1 risk for severe storms. Most likely we would just see some blustery wind that could potentially knock down a tree or two. Before the front arrives, it's going to be nice and warm. Today 72 Tuesday, and then 71 on Wednesday. But Wednesday is the day that we'll have rain and potentially thunderstorms. After that, we turn much colder. As a matter of fact, we may get into a much better chance of some freezing temperatures. So far for this fall, we've only had 2 mornings in the 30s in the Triangle. Typically for the average fall, which is going to be September, October, November, 22. So we are way behind. We are way behind with our first freeze of the year as well. Nice and warm now. The low pressure system and cold front move through, and the colder air starts to spill in. We'll begin to feel it on Thursday and Friday, and it'll be with us over the weekend. Of course, we have the Christmas parade. And look at all these days in the 30s. Friday morning, Saturday morning, and Sunday morning may all be in the 30s. We're going to talk a little bit more about how much rain and the timeline for some severe storms for Wednesday coming up.
Make up for that cold deficit in a hurry right there. Thanks, Elizabeth. Actress Betty White is getting a nod from the U.S. Postal Service when you'll be able to get one of the exclusive stamps honoring her.
Plus, holiday movies are taking over the box office. We'll tell you which film came out on top this weekend.
Are you saying?
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's new Christmas action movie, Red One, topped the box office this past weekend. The movie debuted with $34 million, which is not great for a film that had a $250 million price tag, but it was enough to win the weekend. Venom 3 ended its 3-week run in second place, with a domestic total of $128 million. Another Christmas movie, The Best Christmas Pageant Ever, rounded out the top with nearly $5.5 million.
The fall lineup for theaters includes sequels and remakes, and David Daniel has one of each in today's Hollywood Minute.
You have something in you. Rage. Never let it go. It will carry you to greatness.
A great debut for Gladiator 2. The long-awaited sequel launched in 63 international markets, taking in $87 million. That's Paramount's biggest international opening weekend ever for an R-rated movie. Gladiator 2 opens in U.S. theaters Friday.
Good morning, Mrs. Sturak.
Mrs. Sturak?
Sweet, my first dead body.
I'm for sure going to juvie.
A summer without supervision doesn't turn out quite the way four siblings planned in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. The comedy is a new take on the 1991 original. Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead debuts Tuesday on digital platforms. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Postal Service will honor Betty White with a new stamp. It is based off a photograph taken of White in 2010. The art director for the Postal Service designed it. It'll be available next year. White died in December 2021 at the age of 99.
Kick off the holiday season with a WRAL tradition of more than 50 years. It's the 80th annual Raleigh Christmas Parade. Join us live this Saturday, November 23rd, for dazzling floats, festive music, and a spectacular Santa finale. All the unforgettable holiday fun starts at 9 a.m. on Saturday.
Today, we will learn more about a multi-million-dollar shortfall in funding for disaster recovery in North Carolina. The state leaders who are set to testify today.
You'll want to check your fridge this morning. The CDC is recalling some organic baby carrots after they were linked to an E. coli outbreak. How many people have reported getting sick?
And it's going to be a Merry Christmas for Beyonce fans. What we know about her plans to perform at halftime of the Christmas night NFL game.
And we stand.